Let's be honest, at some point in life, we've all fantasized about suddenly unlocking god-tier powers out of nowhere. No training arc, no tragic backstory, not even a hint of build-up. Just BAM! You're the chosen one. Congratulations. Don't even try to deny it. I can practically see that daydream in your eyes. And while I can't exactly hand you superpowers, trust me, I tried. I can give you the next best thing. Anime! So buckle up, because today we're diving straight into the top 10 anime where the main character becomes overpowered out of nowhere. To start off, we have Tokyo ESP. Now what if one day fish started flying through the sky and then BAM! You got psychic powers? That's exactly what happened in this show. The main character, a regular high school girl living in Tokyo, encounters a school of glowing fish swimming through the air one night. One of them passes through her body and she suddenly gains the ability to phase through solid objects. Overnight, she goes from a broke teenager to an accidental superhero. Alongside others who gained powers from the same phenomena, she's thrown into a battle against a dangerous organization trying to reshape the world. Now, I don't know what you folks think, but this feels like a really fun concept. And the first episode is actually pretty good. It starts with a chaotic, action-packed scene that feels like a superhero blockbuster. However, the series struggles to maintain that momentum. The pacing becomes uneven and the story never quite reaches the epic heights its premise promises. Still, the main character's sudden transformation and reluctant hero arc makes it a pretty intriguing watch, especially if you're into urban fantasy with a twist. So, check it out. Then at number 9, we have Zetman, an anime that's dark, gritty, and morally heavy. Zetman throws its protagonist straight into chaos. The main character, who is a boy living in poverty, now that I think about it, almost every other main character in this list is financially broke. Boy, I guess anime is finally getting realistic. Anyways, one day the main character discovers he isn't exactly human. When his adopted grandfather dies during a battle with mutant-like creatures called players, the main character's latent ability to transform into the superpowered entity Zet awakens. Overnight, he goes from a scrappy street kid to a biological weapon built to destroy monsters. But his powers aren't a blessing, they are a curse. Constantly pulling in between being a hero and losing his humanity, the anime dives into themes of justice, revenge, and sacrifice with a much darker tone than most superhero-like shows. Its intent intends to constantly play with complex moral dilemmas. I'd still say the manga of Zetman is a little bit better than the anime. That's because I felt the anime rushed the story just a little, only to show more action. Still, it's a pretty good show. So if you're in the mood to see something dark and intense, give this show a shot. Then at 8, we have C, the money of soul and possibility control. Ever wondered what life would be like if your future could literally be used as currency? That's what happened to the main character in this anime. A broke college student dreaming of a stable life, the main character is suddenly invited into the mysterious financial district. There, he receives a special card granting him enormous wealth, but also binding him to battles called deals, where players wager their futures. His powers aren't innate but tied to the asset he gains, Mashu, a manifestation of his future who fights alongside him. So to sum it up, one night he's worrying about tuition and the next he's fighting surreal battles where losing means losing everything. Damn. The anime is stylish and thought-provoking, blending economics with supernatural combat. It asks deep questions about greed, risk, and what people are willing to sacrifice, but while its themes are ambitious, the show doesn't fully flesh them out, leaving some concepts half-baked. Still, it's pretty fun watching the anime blend supernatural action with economic concepts, so be sure to give this one a shot. Next up, we have Psycho Detective Yakumo at number 7. Now, this show is low-key moody and kinda creepy. This anime is a mystery series that trades flashy powers for atmosphere. The main character is born with a conspicuous abnormality, a red left eye that allows him to see ghosts and spirits. So basically the same powers as the girl from Another. Unlike sudden onset powers that explode into action, the main character's gift is intrinsic and isolating from birth. Episodes follow him as his unique sight pulls him into other people's hauntings and the messy reasons spirits linger. The show's strength lies in its procedural, character-driven storytelling. Yakumo's detached exterior and moral code gradually peel back as he helps restless souls find peace. And yes, the show has some pacing issues, because it feels like the plot is dragging a little bit in the middle episodes. Still, if you want a supernatural detective show that favors gloom, moral nuance, and melancholy over spectacle, this show delivers. Just don't expect constant action. This isn't solo leveling, alright? Then at number 6, we have Guilty Crown. If there was ever an anime that screamed go big or go home, it's Guilty Crown. From its bombastic soundtrack to its dazzling visuals, this show never does anything halfway. The story kicks off when the main character accidentally comes into contact with a mysterious substance that grants him the legendary power of the king. Suddenly, this awkward teenager gains the ability to extract people's inner psyches, called voids, and use them as weapons. One minute he's a nobody, the next he's leading a rebellion against a dystopian regime with godlike power at his fingertips. And this anime thrives on spectacle. Production IG, the same studio that animated Kaiju number 8 and Heavenly Delusion, pulled out all the stops, giving us breathtaking action sequences and a soundtrack so epic it could make a grocery run feel like the end of the world. The main character's growth from timid boy to reluctant leader is compelling, and the series explores themes of control, identity, and the weight of power. Overall, Guilty Crown remains an unforgettable ride. It's messy, but gloriously so. After that, at number 5, we have Persona 4, the animation. This anime is the definition of a normal kid having an extraordinary fate. The main character moves to the quiet rural town of Inaba, expecting nothing more than a peaceful year with his relatives. But his normal life takes a sharp left turn when he and his new friends investigate a string of mysterious murders tied to something called the Midnight Channel. Legend says that if you watch a blank TV at midnight on a rainy night, you'll see your soulmate. Instead, you end up getting pulled into the TV, literally, and awakens a mysterious power inside of him, his persona, a godlike manifestation of his inner self. And the main character's sudden power awakening sets the stage for a stylish mix of supernatural battles and detective mystery. From there, the anime becomes a blend of turn-based style fights brought to life in a slow-burning whodunit, with you gradually growing from a passive observer into a confident leader. The show absolutely nails its atmosphere, capturing both the eerie tension of the Midnight Channel and the goofy slice-of-life antics between battles. So if you like the Persona games or are in the mood for some stylized madness, give this one a shot. Next at number 4, we have The Law of Ueki. Goofy on the surface, but surprisingly strategic underneath, this anime turns an absurd power premise into a testing ground for creativity. So the main character is suddenly gifted his trademark ability when a celestial candidate grants him the talent to turn trash into trees as part of a larger tournament-style contest. The power is arbitrary in feel, but the rules and limits force characters to outthink opponents rather than just smash them. That constraint is the show's strongest hook. Fights become puzzles where clever use of a goofy power wins the day. And the comedy-friendly art style masks genuinely inventive battles. The series is fun, earnest, and built around a classic shonen sense of justice. It's a simple show, don't expect much watching, but still, give it a shot, it's quite fun to watch. And at the third spot of today's list, we have Charlotte. On the surface, Charlotte looks like your typical superpower high school romp. But give it a few episodes and it'll smack you with emotional gut punches you never saw coming. The story follows a boy who seems ordinary until you realize he can possess other people's bodies for 5 seconds. And he's not alone. A comet named Charlotte passed by Earth, and the dust it left behind triggered abilities in a select group of teenagers, turning ordinary adolescents into a chaotic mess of powers, secrecy, and tragedy. The anime starts off light, almost comedic, as the main character joins a student council that locates and protects other ability users. But beneath the playful antics lies a world that's unpredictable and cruel, where powers are more curse than gift. And one thing I hardly see people appreciate is how sharp the visuals of Charlotte are. Yes, they are not as flashy as most of the action anime out there, but it's still really good, with PA Works delivering expressive animation and emotionally charged scenes that hit hard during the darker turns of the story. However, the anime isn't without its flaws. The pacing in the early episodes feels meandering, and when the plot takes a serious turn halfway through, it almost feels like 2 different shows stitched together. The ending, while ambitious, crams in world building that deserved more breathing room. But despite these issues, Charlotte sticks the emotional landing, delivering memorable moments that makes the journey worth it. It's flawed, but surprisingly heartfelt. After that, at the second spot, we have InuYasha. InuYasha is the kind of anime that feels like stepping into a mythical folktale. It's packed with demons, time travel, and romance that defined an era. Unlike the others on this list, InuYasha doesn't suddenly gain his powers, he's born with them. As a half-demon, he possesses enhanced strength, agility, and regenerative abilities from the very start. What changes over time is those powers evolve. Through mystical artifacts, InuYasha's abilities grow and his demonic nature becomes both a source of strength and inner conflict. And personally for me, the anime's charm lies in its rich world building and timeless adventure structure. InuYasha's journey with Kagome to collect the shattered jewel shards blends episodic quests with long-running emotional arcs, making it easy to get attached. Its 160-plus episode run gives room for character development, relationships, and iconic villains that remain fan favorites to this day. However, InuYasha isn't perfect. Its pacing can be sluggish at times, with filler episodes slowing momentum, and the romance can sometimes get repetitive. And I often feel that some character development, especially for side characters, feels stuck in a loop. But these flaws are minor compared to its cultural impact. And by any chance, if you still haven't checked out this anime, what are you even doing? Go and do it now! And have fun with those 160-plus episodes. But at the top spot of today's list, we have Parasyte, the Maxim. Now, if you have been an anime fan for some time and still haven't watched this show, what's wrong with you? It's brutal, cerebral, strangely intimate. Parasyte is that rare body horror anime that keeps you thinking long after the credits roll. The main character's power doesn't come from training or destiny so much as a terrifying accident. One of the invading parasitic creatures tries to burrow into his brain, but fails, lodging instead in his right arm and becoming the sentient parasite Migi. Because the parasite didn't reach his brain, the main character retains his humanity while sharing control of his body with an alien, intelligent life form. Madhouse adaptation sharpens the manga's horror and moral drama with tight animation, memorable sound design, and a pacing that hooks early. It's perfectly balanced. I guess there is a reason people call Madhouse the best. They literally never miss. As for criticism, what am I talking about? There's literally nothing. So if you want intense body horror with real emotional weight and a handful of rough edges, watch the show right now. This one is most definitely for you. Well, that's the list for today, guys. If you made it this far, please be sure to comment down below on which anime you think should have been on this list. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button and press on that bell icon and set us all to be notified about all our latest new videos. And as for now, I'll catch you later. See you in the next one.